Hello and welcome to this week's Yin Yoga. I hope you are well and ready for this lovely practice tonight. So tonight's practice is the first of three, really focusing on the principles of Yin Yoga. And there's three principles. The first is finding the shape or the posture. The second is finding your edge. And the third is resolving to be still. So tonight we're going to focus on finding your shape. And I emphasize here your shape. So this will become apparent as we go along. So let us begin first. Please grab your props, your blankets, rolled towels, maybe some cushions, yoga blocks or bricks if you've got them, and maybe a yoga bolster or one or two bed pillows. And you can wrap the bed pillows in a large bath towel, and that will provide a sort of modified bolster. Okay, so once you've got your things, let's begin by coming into half butterfly. So we're going to sit up to do this, and I would recommend maybe sitting on a cushion or a yoga block, or maybe a yoga block covered in a thin covering of a blanket. So I'm going to use the block just covered with the blanket. The blanket really serves as, it's just softer. It's just softer than sitting on a yoga block. Right, so to do half butterfly, let us extend. I'll come this way and they can see me. Let's extend one leg, doesn't matter which. And then we're going to bend the other leg and bring the sole of this bent leg towards or on the inner thigh of the extended leg. Now, this is Yin Yoga, so let's not activate through the muscles unless we do need some muscular engagement. But for this, I want you to bend the knee of your extended leg and maybe prop underneath that with a rolled towel, rolled blanket, yoga brick. Now let that leg go so there's no muscular engagement. Now the other leg, this knee might be floating like this. So if so, prop that knee. You can use a couple of cushions or blocks underneath. Now if your knee comes down to the mat like mine, or even further than mine, I still want you to be very aware here not to overdo it, because it can pull on your knee, and if your knees are sensitive, you need to protect them. You need to protect them anyway. So I would recommend placing a cushion or a rolled blanket underneath that bent knee. And the sole of the foot doesn't need to actually come onto the thigh. You might need more space. So you might need to bring that foot away from the inside of your thigh. So find your shape. This is what I mean about finding your shape. What's right for me won't necessarily be right for anyone else, and vice versa. So find what's right for you. And if your hip doesn't like turning outwards, so you don't want your leg turning outwards, then maybe put the sole of the foot down on the mat And this could be your half butterfly. Or maybe take your leg out a little into a sort of squat position. And then we're going to create length in the spine first. So place the hands alongside the body, root down, lengthen up through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then turn the hips. Imagine you've got headlights on your hips, and those headlights are shining down that extended leg. So there's some options here now. We're going to walk the hands forwards. Again, you're finding your shape here. And then we're going to round through the spine, and the chin softens into the throat as you fold forwards. Now, you don't have to come down very far at all. And if you have a yoga bolster or a modified yoga bolster, you might want to bring that here now. And then don't forget, lengthen and then fold. So you can place your forearms on your bolster and place the forehead on the folded forearms. But remember, we're not activating muscles unless we need to. So what we don't want to do is hunch these shoulders up to the ears as you come forwards. Take those shoulder blades away from the ears, or extend the ears away from the shoulders. Now, to protect the knee of your extended leg, just spread through the sole of this foot, just gently. If, like me, your toes tend to be very mobile, yeah, just be careful that you're not over extending the feet, the toes. For example, my big toe, if I spread through my sole of my foot, my big toe wants to come towards me now. And my big toe actually sticks up all the time anyway. It's never totally flat. So just be aware of that. So now you come to your shape. I've been through all the different modifications and so on. Or maybe you can find a different modification. And if you do, that's right for you, please share in the comments below if you found something different that works for you. So we come into the shape, and where's my little egg timer? And here now, we resolve to be still. So we find our edge. I'm not going to focus too much on the edge this week, because I'll do that next week. So just find that place where you can hold comfortably for, in this case, 3 minutes. I've got my little 3-minute egg timer, which I have now turned on. See if you can soften. Maybe you need to come up a little bit. Maybe you've gone down too far, or maybe you can go a little bit deeper. But do that naturally. If you're going to go deeper, allow the stretch to take you deeper naturally rather than you forcing anything. And what is your shape? How does this shape appear to you? How does it feel? How does this shape feel on your body? Be aware of the sensations in the extended leg. Be aware of the sensations in the bent leg. Simply note them mentally. You don't need to get into any conversation with them. Just note them. And maybe as you hold here, you find you can let go a little bit more, and as your tissues stretch, you can go a little deeper. Maybe not. If the sensations become sharp or burning or electrical sensations, then you've gone too far. Just back off. So walk the hands up to a more comfortable place where you're not going too far. So you can feel sensation, you can feel a stretch, but not too much, not to the extent that it's discomfort. Maybe close the eyes. Move in within. One more breath. And then very slowly begin to bring yourself back up. And then remove the props. Bend that extended leg up. And then come off your block or your cushion if you're on one. And windscreen wipe those legs. And let's do all that on the other side. So come to put a cushion, sit on a cushion or a block, folded blanket. You don't have to sit on a cushion. You can try it this week, and then maybe try without in your own time, and see. It's all about experimentation. I find in yoga, it in a way it gives you more free rein to experiment with shapes, which is good fun. I'm all for experimenting and finding your own thing. So let's protect the knee by either having a bend in it with no prop, or putting a prop under with a bend as well. And then this other leg, an itch nose, this other leg is bent, and I'm going to prop my knee. And just take note here, actually, before I do prop my knee, I can notice, I can see a difference straight away between the leg that I've just done, where my knee was coming down to the mat, and now on this side, this knee's not coming down to the mat, it's floating. So it's just a matter of noticing these things. And I've got a good reason why. I can understand why that knee doesn't come down. Because I had surgery on that side. And so the tissue, the fascial tissue, will be stiffer on that side. It will be more dense because it will be scar tissue. So without getting into analysis like I've just done, we do it, don't we? Just come to your shape. Headlights shine down that extended leg. So you just twist in. See how that feels? Lengthen up through the spine, creating vertebrae between, space between the vertebrae, not vertebrae between the space. And then begin to walk the hands forwards, rounding through the spine, because this is yin. Finding your shape, your shape. You don't need to come down far. You just come to a place where you can feel a sensation that's not causing you discomfort. You can feel a stretch, and where you can hold for some time. And if you've got a bolster, you might like to come down over the bolster. I don't really like my head hanging in space, so I'm going to come down on my bolster and place my forehead on my folded forearms. And remember to protect the knee of the extended leg by just spreading lightly through the sole of the foot. The other knee will be protected by this cushion. But if the bent knee is causing you problems, if there's sensations are too strong, walk the foot away maybe, see how that feels, and if that still isn't right for you, or you don't like, your hip doesn't like being rotated outwards, then just simply place your foot down on the mat. Softening, soften the face. Let the back muscles soften. Moving your awareness within. Forward folds take us within. So let's have a few moments of silence before I guide you back. And then very slowly begin to bring yourself back up. Remove any props and gently guide that bent knee back in. Come off your block, your cushion, and let's rotate through the hips, knees, and ankles. That can feel quite nice. So let's do that in one direction and then change direction. And then to allow the tissues to rebound, because we've just externally, we've taken the hips out in an external rotation. let's come to lay down in constructive rest. Constructive rest, you lay down on the back and bend the knees, soles of the feet down on the mat, and then bring the toes in towards each other and allow the inner thighs to come together. So they're resting on each other. And the hands can be on the belly or alongside the body on the mat. And give yourself a few moments again here. So because we've had our hips turned outwards in what's called external rotation, we now countering this by bringing the hips inwards. We're turning them inwards. And then maybe you'd like a full body stretch. I can just move my bolster. So take the legs, extend both legs down the mat. Oh, it's making me yawn. And arms overhead, push the hands away, push the feet away. Full body stretch. And then let's bend up one knee and hug that knee in. Now you can place the hands on the shin, front of the shin, or behind the thigh, whatever's right for you. And then once you're there, maybe you'd like to rotate through the ankle. Keep the other leg extended unless this is causing any discomfort, maybe on your lower back or elsewhere, in which case you can bend that leg and place the sole of the foot down on the mat. See how it feels on the front of your hip. You're having a stretch through your hip flexors there. Then point and flex the foot, not the leg. And maybe you can, if you had your hands at the back of your thigh, maybe you can move the hands to the front of the shin now. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. There's no competition in yoga. And then we're going to move into a twist from here. So with the opposite hand to the bent knee, gently guide that leg over. And my dog, Gaia, is a complete nuisance now. She's going to come to me because I'm laid down. Now, the knee that has just been taken over into the twist, you might need to prop it. I'm using 2 yoga blocks here. And great. Gaia, you're obscuring view. So prop your bent knee that you've just taken over. And then your arms can be like a W, cactus, a T. Maybe you want the arms touching the body. And the head can either look up at the ceiling, turn in the opposite direction to the bent knee, well, both knees are over there. Sorry, no, only the top knee is over there. And then, or you can turn the head in the same direction as the bent knee. And just take a little time here to connect with this shape. How does this shape feel on your body? Find your shape. Maybe this shape isn't right for you. Maybe you need to back off a little bit. And if you don't like this shape, if it's causing any discomfort, Gaia, you really will have to move. You can do an easier twist by bringing both knees together, bend both legs, and just take both knees over. Rather than having one leg extended, both legs can be bent with knees together. And I will demonstrate fully in a minute on this side. I'm going to have to just sort Gaia out. So just feel into your shape, find your shape, checking in with sensations. And see if you can release into this shape. I'm just going to have to pause the video while I move. So sorry about that. I put Gaia in the house. So very slowly now, I want you to come back to the center with the 2 knees, or guide that one knee over to the center. Place the sole of the foot down. Just take a moment to check in with how that shape felt, but also the after sensations of that shape. And then take that bent leg, extend it out down the mat. And again, checking in with the after sensations. And then let's do that on the other side. And hopefully my other dog won't decide to come over. So bend your other leg in now. Hug that knee in. Keep your shoulder blades down on the mat. Keep them relaxed. Ears are away from your shoulders. And just soften the chin into the throat. I don't mean tuck your chin, just soften it, so that you're not tilting your chin up to the sky, putting strain on your neck tissues. And then rotate through the ankle one way and then the other. And then point and flex. And then if you had props for your knee, or maybe you didn't, but you might need them on this side. But get your props ready just in case. And then gently guide that knee over with the opposite, with the hand of the opposite arm. And then if you need to prop something under that knee, try to keep your shoulder blades down on the mat. So if your shoulder blades are lifting, you're not really having a twist. You might have a little bit of a twist, but it won't be a full twist as such. You're better off keeping your shoulder blades down and propping your knee. Come to your shape. So if this shape isn't right for you, if you think it's a bit too strong, maybe roll back out, bend both knees in, and then come over and see how that feels on your body. And again, with the arms, it's your shape. You make your own shape here. So you can either take them out extended like a T, a W, cactus, or maybe just place the hands on the body. Maybe you want to take them overhead. And then soften the body, soften the face. Allow the body to surrender into this shape. The head can be in the same direction as the knees or turned away. Or even looking up at the ceiling. And when you're in your shape, you don't need to be static. So you might decide to move your arms into a different position. That's totally fine. You don't need to be really still. You do resolve to be still, but if you feel that you need to move in any way, then obviously you do so mindfully to stay in that zone, not to activate muscles, not to activate the nervous system too much, but keeping that nice, slow, calm state. One more breath here. And then slowly come back to center. And maybe hug both knees in and have a little rock from side to side. And then let's push those knees away, open the legs, bring the knees back together, doing like frog type circles, but we're not turning the knees outwards. Like swimming. And then you can go in the opposite direction. Swimming, but you keep your knees up to the ceiling rather than them going out. I'm not explaining that very well at all, but never mind. And then take both legs extended down the mat. And again, if you feel the need to have a full body stretch here, then do so. And then we're going to roll over onto one side, and we're going to come onto all fours and move through a few cat cows. I'm padding my knees under my knees because this floor can be hard and my knees are quite sensitive. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, fronts of feet down on mat, or maybe you'd like to curl your toes and have a bit of a toe stretch as well. So first of all, come to a tabletop position. Inhale, and as you exhale, move into cat, rounding through the spine, chin towards chest. Inhale, drop the belly. Bring the head and chest forwards into cow and cat. And begin to flow. Let this movement be nice and free form as we then begin maybe to push into a sort of child cow, cat, child, maybe circling or figure 8, infinity sign. How do these shapes feel? You could do quite a few different shapes here. See how these different flowing movements, these shapes feel for you. Does one side feel more free than the other? Again, please look at this without attaching a story to it. And then let's come now to, I think, might be our final posture. Not quite. We're going to come up into supported bridge. So, different options here. You might want 1 or 2 yoga blocks, or you could use 2 bricks and make it like a block shape, seeing that we're doing shapes. You could use cushions, roll blankets. You could use a yoga bolster, but personally I find that it takes me up too much. I will show you the different options. If you're using a yoga bolster, let me move these out of the way. Come on so that you're sitting right against it, so the back of the pelvis is on the bolster, and then roll back. I have to come up on my tiptoes here to push that under because I've only got little legs. So that for me is too much of a back bend, but it might suit you. And to come out, I'm going to roll that away. So for me personally, I prefer yoga blocks. I'm going to use 1 block and a cushion because I just, like I said earlier, I think these yoga blocks can be a bit hard. Even though the foam, I still think that they're hard. They are for me anyway. Now I'm going to put a folded blanket as well under my head. Not a pillow. You could have a very flat pillow, but you want to keep your neck in line with your spine. So I'm putting my props now, I'm sliding them underneath my pelvis, so they're supporting my pelvis. And the soles of my feet are on the earth, are on the mat. My knees are hip width. And I'm checking in now. So wherever you're at, check in with this shape. How does this shape suit your body? Does it suit your body? If it doesn't, what can you do to make it suit your body? So maybe take away a prop. If, like me, you've got a blanket, a cushion, a block, a brick, sorry, a block, maybe take one of those props away. It's about playing about with what's right. You do want that sensation though. You don't want nothing. You don't want to feel nothing. You do need to feel sensation in you because you're stretching the tissues, you know, you need You need that sensation, but you don't want to have such sensation at a high intensity that you're not going to be able to hold it. So we're going to be here now for 3 minutes. Soften that chin into your throat. It's making me yawn. It's because I'm on my back again. It's whenever I lie on my back, I start yawning. And you might find that your inner thighs start shaking. My left one's like jelly. So that's about checking in, you know, noticing how's the shape for your body without overthinking why is that side like that. Just accept. I'll be silent here now, just for a while before guiding you back. Close your eyes. Just a few more breaths. And then very slowly we're going to remove the props. So if you are on a bolster, then maybe come up onto the balls of your feet, push the bolster away with the hands, and then roll the bolster away with the feet. If you're on blocks, then just slide them out. And once you've removed the props, bring the pelvis down onto the mat. And give yourself a moment here while this new shape, because you've just been in a back bend and now the spine is down on the mat. So allow your spine to realign, checking in with this shape with your knees bent. And then hug both knees in just for a moment. And then both legs extend down the mat into a Shavasana shape. We're not coming into Shavasana yet, but we're just rebounding in Shavasana. Just have a moment in Shavasana. Allowing the tissues to rebound, to come back into shape, into their original shape. And then we're going to come up. We are coming back down again, but we need to come up really to come down. So the next The next shape we're going to come to, I'm just looking around how I can do this. I might do this with the cushion. I could do it on the wall. Actually, yes, I've got a cupboard here that you can't really see. So I'll do it against the cupboard door because you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So again, I'm going to use the very thinly folded blanket to put my head on. So both my feet now are on the cupboard door. Now you can have them up a wall or maybe a chair or a stool or something. And then I'm going to take one leg and cross the foot across the opposite leg, just below the knee. So we don't want the ankle on the knee, not bone on bone. And the hands can come on the body or alongside the body, however you want them. You come to your shape. Now, if this is too strong for you, then bring the feet down on the mat. I'll just move back a bit. And maybe you can do this shape, like a figure 4. This shape with the bottom leg with the foot on the floor. And you might want to walk that foot away so it's less intense on the thigh, on the in the groin area, in the hip. So again, you play about with it. But I'm going to do it up against the cupboard or the wall. The wall can be a useful prop. That's why it's so good to do at home because you can use all kinds of things that you've got, cushions and little tables, chairs, things that you don't always have at a community centre for yoga classes. Maybe in yoga studios, yes, but not in your standard community centre. I'm just checking in with this shape. How does this shape feel for you? Feel for your body? Where are the sensations? Are the sensations more intense in one area? Couple more breaths. And then very slowly unravel. Take the leg, if your legs are up the wall, take both feet on the wall first. And then maybe bring them down. Let's have a little windscreen wiper, counter posture, counter shape, before going over to the other side. So exactly the same thing, but on this side, on this other side. And again, the option to not put your legs up against the wall, but put them on the soles of the feet down on the mat. And the further the foot is away from the body, the less intense the sensation will be around the hip, the thigh, the groin. And then when you're ready, cross the ankle over the opposite knee, but not on the knee. Make sure that the neck is neutral, so the head's not tilting back. The chin's nice and soft towards the throat, it's not jutting up. See how this feels. Checking in the sensations. And again, I should have mentioned this before. The knee of the top leg, the one that's across, if your knee is sensitive, then just expand through the sole of the foot, just like we did earlier with the first posture with half butterfly. I couldn't think what it was then. I wanted to say half caterpillar. No, it's opened its wings now. It's a butterfly. Few more breaths. You could also experiment here with walking the foot down a little, but not too much, else it'll, you'll be able to feel it in your ankle. But maybe taking the leg further up the wall, taking the foot further up the wall. You might get sensations elsewhere. And then slowly, mindfully, bring that leg back on either both feet on the wall or on the mat. Taking a moment before you release them down. And then walk the feet as wide as the mat. Take both knees over to one side. Back to center, over to the other side. And just do that a couple more times. And then maybe a happy baby, a few moments in happy baby, or half happy baby. You can do one side then the other. So in happy baby, knees are very bent, fronts of thighs come to the sides of the belly, and you take hold of the feet or the lower legs or even behind the thighs, wherever you can. Have a moment here in happy baby, and maybe you want to rock from side to side. Can feel quite nice massage in the low back. Feel the whole of the back actually. Again, I mean, this is a shape. How is this shape for you? What can you feel in your body in this shape? How does it? What sensations are they? Where are those sensations? Is this shape for you? Can you change the shape so that it's better for you? It makes sensations that feel good. And then slowly release the feet. I'm preparing now for Shavasana, your Shavasana, your final shape. And it's not just a matter of, right, well, this is Shavasana, lay down on the back and in your traditional yoga class Shavasana. Maybe a bolster under the knees, rolled blanket under the knees, or maybe a side Shavasana where you can hug a bed pillow, or if you've got a bolster, and I'm going to use a cushion for my head. If you've got a bolster, you bend your top leg and allow that bolster to support the full leg. Now, if you've got longer legs than me, which won't be very difficult, I've only got little legs, but that's me and I'm happy with them. If your foot is hanging off, that's what I'm getting at. You don't want it hanging there. So you can prop it with something else, maybe a block or even some books or something. And then when you get to your shape, you can also lie down on the belly as well, in like a sleeping crocodile. So you can come onto the belly. I'd recommend putting something under the belly, like a folded blanket, something to make it more comfort. I'm just trying to move this bolster. It's stuck where it is. Yeah, maybe a small cushion or a folded blanket, something. Take the feet as wide as the mat, heels flopping, toes out, and then the arms are bent and forearms are stacked on top of each other, and the forehead can come down onto the forearm. So find your shape, and you may even want a semi lay down Shavasana. If you've got a reclining chair, you might prefer to do your Shavasana in the chair. So whatever shape your Shavasana is, come into that now. Use a blanket to keep you warm. Put on socks. Because when we move into relaxation, our body temperature drops. And in yoga, we could do with keeping warm, really, because we're moving so slow and we're holding postures or shapes. We're holding, so we're being still overall, or fairly still. So come to your Shavasana. And check in with this shape. How does this shape fit with your body? How does it feel for your body to be in Shavasana, your Shavasana, for your body? Are you meeting your body's needs here? Is there something niggling you that prevents you from relaxing now? If so, get that additional blanket or cushion, whatever it is you need. And then when you're fully there now, take a deep breath in to the belly. Take that breath all the way up to the collarbones and sigh it out through the mouth, long and slow. And again, inhale. Exhale, softening on the exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale slowly and let everything go. Allow the whole body to let go now. Allow the tissues to completely relax, softening through the muscles and the bones. And I'm going to be silent here now before I guide you back in a couple of minutes. And begin now to become aware of where you are. Don't move the body just yet, but bring awareness to your body, to the whole body, and the points of contact it's making with the surface beneath. And then begin to wiggle through fingers and toes. Maybe have a stretch and a yawn. Removing any props. And then make whatever movement you need to make now. Taking a deep breath in and breathing out fully. Bringing yourself back into the present moment. And if you can hear any background noise, it's the rain on the roof of my little garden studio. It sounds lovely actually when you're in here and it's raining. It's very meditative, but I have no idea what it'll sound like on a video. Hopefully you can still hear me. So bringing yourself back fully, rolling over onto one side, and then come up to a comfortable seated or kneeling position. And then we will just finish with one breath of joy, interlacing fingers, pushing the hands away, rounding through the spine, chin comes towards chest, reaching up, lengthening up, sweeping the arms down, interlace the hands, pushing the hands away, down past the tail, lifting the sternum, the breastbone, up to sky, and hands together in Namaste. Thank you for joining me. If you've got any comments, or questions, please post in the comments box below. And I will see you next time for our continued exploration of yin, where we'll be exploring the edge. Till then, thank you for joining me. Namaste.